What's up, internet world? So today I'm still working on the Impala. This is the 63. I got me some carpet here. This is some green carpet. It's not the traditional carpet that you will see in the 60s model Chevrolet. This is going to be a little bit different. I'm doing this carpet to kind of match the color scheme that I got going on so far. This is going to be a hunter green, and I installed some of my sound deadener earlier this morning, and right now what I want to do is do a quick layout of how I'm wanting the carpet to lay, so that I can finish up with my seats, get the seats in here, get the back seat in here, get the side trim in here, and get ready to finish up this project so I can start on the next project. Just wanted to make a quick little video on how I'm going to install this carpet. For someone who's done carpet before or knows a little bit about carpet, they'll know that the process of this is not too hard. What I'm wanting to do is just lay it out though and get the template of it, and then I'm going to cut it so that it's laying properly. Then I'm going to take it back out and I'm going to spray me a little bit of upholstery glue on the top of the sound deadener so that I can get this stuff to stick to it a little bit. And I don't want to overdo it, you know. I just want it to stick just a little bit. I don't want it so sticky that I can't, or on it so tight that I can't actually pull the carpet back, you know. I debated on whether or not I was going to use this carpet. I had two different options. This was a carpet that I bought for it. This is a different grain. This is a 40 loop, but as you can see, that's two different greens. This green here is going to match a little bit better with the color and the seats that I have. So I chose to go with this, even though I like the 40 the loop of this carpet here. This one actually matches the project a little bit better, so I chose to go with this one. Okay, so I may have to, I'm not sure, I may have to turn this in a different direction. Right now I'm running it from front to back, but I may have to turn it and run it from passenger to driver or driver to passenger. That was backwards, but if you understand what I'm saying, just because of the width of the carpet. If I got a good run on the width of it now, then I should be fine. I'm wanting to cut this carpet right at the middle point, up under the seat. Okay, I'm gonna come around to that side so that way you can see it. Okay, not sure if you can see that. Let me. All right, if you can see here, that's going to be my insulation that I put in, and my hole here with my mounts here is going to be where my seats mount in. You got stud here, stud here, stud here, stud here. So what I'll probably end up doing is cutting here. And when I cut there, I'll release some of the tension from the entire roll, so that I got to check and see how much material at home I got. If I still have a little bit of material for the seats that I did, the same color, what I'm wanting to do is cut it here and then sew me a piece of leather here, the color of my seats, right where the break in the carpet is. Okay. Right now, we're looking pretty good on what we got. Okay, it looks to be wide enough, so I'm running all the way here to my door seal. So I'll be able to tuck that in there. Be able to tuck all of that in there and have it run all the way to the other side with no problem. Okay. So for now, I'm liking what I'm seeing. And this is not a hard process. You just want to roll your carpet out and just make sure that it's laying flat, you know. As long as your carpet is laying flat, then you should be good. When you add a little bit of the upholstery glue to the to the backing here, which is, this is going to be a sound deadener, and it has sticky on the back of it, which I stuck it, I stuck it earlier this morning. So that has a nice little stickiness to it that it shouldn't come off. I'll probably, right here where this lip is, I'll probably trim that lip off right there. If you can see here, that lip there, I'll probably trim. I got a lot of wiring hanging here. I'm going to have to figure out where exactly I'm going to want that wiring to sit. More than likely, I'm going to want that wiring to sit in this channel right here. And that wiring will need to sit right up under my window run trim. So that's just a rough layout right there. I'm gonna trim straight across here. I got a lot of excess up here that I'm not gonna need. I've made myself enough to where, see if I can get you in there on the camera, but back here, okay, I made myself enough towards the back seat here. I got my hooks here under the back seat. Okay, those are my hooks for my back seat. Okay, and I gave myself enough to come over that back seat. If you can tell, okay, up here is where I left this stuff out in the sun, so it's faded and it's turned a different color green. You see, all of that is the same color, dark green, which is gonna match my dash and match that green on the vehicle a little bit better than this stuff here. Okay, this stuff here is a nice texture, but it doesn't match how I want. Okay, and this is not a forever thing. I may come back in after I finish putting this in, after riding with it a little while. I may look at it one day and say, you know what, I don't like it, I'm taking it out and I'm changing over to the loop. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. Let me just sit this back down here. Okay. What you want to do is just try to make sure you have no creases, because all of these little sections where like these, here's where your feet go. You got your middle console up under here, which I'm gonna have to cut around. But what I'm gonna do is leave enough to, when I cut on my center console right here, I'm gonna leave enough to where I can tuck it up under the center console so it doesn't fall short. Okay. Alright, let me make sure everything's flattened out on the other side. And you want everything to be flat. That's why I bought this piece so big, so that I can have enough to make sure that everything lays good and flat. and nothing coming up short. One thing I noticed on a friend of mine's, he got a kit from one of the Impala sites, and the kit that they sold him, the carpet is short in a little bit of the areas. Okay, I wanted to try to avoid that. I didn't want that I didn't want that issue with mine. Okay. Like I say, you just want to make sure everything's flat. As long as everything lays flat, you should be good. Give yourself enough material to where you can stretch it out, and it's going to be able to tuck where you need it to tuck at. Now I don't have my straight edge with me now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my straight edge from home, and I'm going to bring it to work with me tomorrow. That way I can cut this piece right across the middle of the seat, in the middle where the seat goes. I can cut it and make two pieces. I'm going to make a front piece and a back piece, so that I don't have one big piece and a lot of spots where, you know, like here, you know, and here it'll wrinkle up. If you don't, you know, cut it into two different pieces, you'll get a lot of wrinkling, and I want to avoid as much wrinkling as possible. Okay, so I'm satisfied with that now, and when I cut it in the morning, then we'll bring you back on. All right, so this is the morning after, and I found my little trusty tool. Instead of using my square, I found this tool here at home, and it draws a nice digital line for me that I'm going to use to cut clean across, so that I can let me see if I can get a little light, shed a little light on this situation. But I'm going to use that line as a marker, and I got the studs where the seats mount that I'm going to cut right in the middle of. And let me see if I can. I think I closed that in the door, but I'm gonna cut right in the middle of the seat mounts, and that should give me a nice clean cut. And I got a piece of material that's coming today, so I can do a little bit of sewing, and I'm gonna show you that a little bit later on. Okay. So let me get my blade, and I'll get ready to cut this out. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start to cut clean right here on the line. And it's probably going to be better for me to start as further away from me as I can, so that way that I can see the line as I cut. Alright, so in the middle of your screen right here, we have the center console. And I'm about to make what I call a carpenter's cut. And the carpenter's cut is going to be a T that I'm going to make that's going to go across the center console and a straight line down away from the center console. And that will allow me to wrap around the center console and tuck under the center console. I'm going to zoom you in a little bit while I make the cut so you can see it. That may be a little bit too close. Let me back you away just a little bit. Alright, so this is what what I call a carpenter's cut. So you can see here, this is my center console here to here, and what I do is I make a cut straight across. That's going to be the top of my T. Okay. Then I'm going to go from the middle. I'm going to go straight back. Okay. Now with that, which I call my carpenter's cut, once I fold this back out, as you can see now, I'm around the center console on both sides. When I fold both sides out, it allows me to be around the center console. All right. Now, once I'm around the center console, I can take my tool and I can trim a little bit closer here, which I don't like to really do. I like to just take my tool and just stuff it up under. That way I don't have to worry about it. Here, I'm a little bit high, so I can fold back here. And the bottom of my center console is there. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a little bit higher than my center console so that I can tuck the excess up under the center console. It'll make for a cleaner look. Okay. And this is all going to be mostly hidden by the front seat, so you're really not going to see a lot of this, but you know, just for finishing purposes, it provides a better look. Okay, and I'll do that on both sides. Okay, now if you can still see that, now I can take my screws loose here that's mounting my center console, and I can let that center console up a little bit, and then I can just tuck all of that under. That'll create a nice finished look, as well as at the back. I'll tuck all of that in at the back, make sure all of this is flat. And then said before, it'll create a nice finish look, so where you don't see any gaps. Okay. So I'm satisfied with that. And what I'll do is I'll cut, because I have hooks here for the back seat. Okay, not sure if you can see this on camera, but I have a hook there on the back seat. Then I'll be able to cut above here and still be able to have access to cut out for my hooks. Okay, certain spots where you have to have your hooks come through, what I like to do is I like to cut an X or a cross. All right, so let me show you. I have my seat belt hole that I have to cut out on both sides. So with my seat belt hole, I'll just cut across. I'll make an incision and I'll just cut across, or X, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, that'll allow me access for my seat belt. You don't have to cut the cross real big. You just want to be able to have a opening. You know, you don't want to damage up your carpet too much. Seatbelt hole on this side. Seatbelt hole is right there. I'm just gonna make an incision. Try not to hit the metal. Whenever you hit metal with the razor, it dulls it. But you just want to cut you a nice little cross. Yeah. You can see that little cross that I made there. Just a little hole. That cross gives me enough to where I can mount my seat belt right there. You can see that hole there, and just from that cross, and as you can see, it doesn't really look like I've cut into the carpet as much. Once I mount my seat belt right there, that seat belt will cover up the cross, and we'll still look like we got a nice finish. Mount my seat belt there, and I'll pull the access to the ends. Same thing on that side, same thing on this side. Okay. Stretch the carpet out, make sure it's all flat. And that same cut that I make for my seatbelt holes will be the same cuts that I make for the hooks for the back seat hooks. And what I'm wanting to do first is I want to mount my seat belts in first. And even if I don't mount my seat belts, I'll just put something in the holes so that it'll represent the seat belts being mounted. That way I can stretch the material out and still have a flat look. Alright, so I've got my hole cut out for my seat belt here and here. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to get the look for this center console and make it look nice and flush. Now what I have here is a pick tool, and what I'm going to want to do is just tuck this material right up under my center console with this pick tool. Okay, right now it's a little bit tight, and what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to loosen up my screw here. I got another screw there, and I'm going to loosen those two up. Now what I may do is I may make me a little slit right here. It just depends on how the material acts when it goes up under there. But here, if you can see the bracket right here, I shouldn't have to make a slit there because I got enough room to stuff up under there. So let me loosen up my screws here. Okay, I'm gonna have to take both of them out because the console is pretty tight back here at the back. And I should be able to lift up just a little bit and get that little bit of material that I want up under there, like that. Okay, and then I can take that and stuff it. Stuff all that material up under there. Alright, and making sure I keep my seatbelt buckle there. Now if I leave that like that, you'll be able to see that, but my seat is going to be here, so I'm not really concerned about seeing that. But me just knowing that it's there, I don't really like being able to see it. So I'm going to take a little bit of my material and I'm going to stuff it right up under there. Okay. Now I don't know where my hole is anymore, so I kind of got to guess where my hole is. Hopefully I'll be able to have it still lined up. Probably gonna have to fish around and find my hole for my console. Let's see if, okay, so no, I wasn't lined up with the hole. Looks like I need to push down a little bit so I can line up with the hole, but I want to make sure that material is covering that bracket. If I press down just a little bit, I think I'm not sure if that's my hole there or not, but let's see if we can get it just a little bit more snug. Hopefully I haven't hollowed out where the screw goes. Alright, that one tightened down pretty good, so let's see what's going on with this one. Why am I not able to get a good, and you know, I think the reason is because I lifted up on that tab when I put it in the first time. So let me see if I can tuck this material back up under it again. And I think if I lift up on the tab this time, I should be able to get to that hole. work exactly how I want it. So, you know, you gotta play with it a little bit. See if I can line my screw up first, and then maybe I can tuck some of the material behind it. Alright, looks like the hole is kind of to the right of where I was trying to put it. Alright, so we're in the hole right there. Let's see if I can get just a little bit of that material. Just a little bit of it. I just want just a little bit of it to cover that bracket. And this is why I use this pick tool, because this pick tool can kind of push material in tight spots versus like a popsicle stick or some stuff like that. I'm still not getting what I want. Let me pull this out. Now that I know that hole is to the right a little bit, let me see if I can get this material in between the bracket and the center console right here. Alright, that's where I wanted it, right there. Alright, and there's the tightness that I'm looking for. Now with that up under there like that, I got it nice and tight like I want. Okay, now what I'm going to need to do is find my hook for the bottom of the seat. Now the hook for the bottom of the seat is going to be here. Okay. Got two hooks right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just cut right down the middle right here. Okay. Almost that same technique that we use with the center console to make the T. But this is just going to be an X. Alright. And that'll expose that hook. And I'll do the same thing on this side. Alright. And that exposes that hook. And that still leaves my material to follow in place so that hook doesn't be exposed. I mean, excuse me, so the body doesn't be exposed right there. Now, right here, cut me a little slit straight up right here. Alright. My light went out. My battery's going dead, but you can see the look that we're going for there, even though it got a little dark. Okay. Look there. So I'm pretty satisfied with that. Yeah, so what we'll do next is we'll spray a little bit of our contact adhesive under the mats, and then we'll stick that down, and that'll be done for the back. And then we're gonna move on to the front, cut the front piece out. All right, now so as you can see, I folded some of my material back for the carpet, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my gun here with the contact adhesive in it, and I'm just going to spray a little bit here in the middle because I want it to stick. I don't want the entire thing to stick. I just want to have a place where I have a good sticking point so that want a good sticking point so that the rest of the material, when I get ready to stretch it out, I have somewhere that's good and solid, that's not going to move. And again, this is just my way of doing this. This is not how you have to do it. You know, this is just this is me doing what I want to do. You know, this is custom. You know, someone may look at this and say, oh man, you're not supposed to do it like that, and maybe not. But this is how I'm doing it, and this is how I want mine to be done. Okay? This is just something for you. You know, this is just an idea for you to build yours off of. And then you can do yours how you want yours to be done. You know, when you're doing a custom car, you know, you can't really let someone tell you, oh man, that's wrong. You can't do it like that. Because custom means custom. Custom means you're doing what you want to do. Now, sure, we'll have people that'll, you know, they'll be able to give you an, you know, a little bit of an idea, you know, to kind of help with your custom idea. But when you're doing how you want to do, you do how you want to do. All right. That's good and stuck there now. Here, I'll be able to pull some of those wrinkles out. And up here at the back, it's going to be up under the seat up here. Okay. I'm going to cut across here, all the way across. So that'll be under the seat. You won't see that. All right. All right, so now that we've got the carpet in, we got our corners, which over there and here. And I'm not gonna cut them just yet. And the reason that I'm not gonna cut them yet is because I do have my seat that's gonna go back here, as well as the side pieces that go here, that I want to fit those in first. And when I fit those in, then I'll know exactly where I want to cut my material so that we don't have any gaps and everything is tucked in nice and smoothly. All right, I'm gonna grab one of those pieces so you can see how that looks when it's tucked in. Alright, so this piece is going to sit here. Still has a little extra material on it that I'm going to have to trim off. But it's going to sit here. And that way that'll let me know exactly where to trim to hide the material for this piece up under the carpet. Okay? So everything's coming together little by little. Before you know it, we'll have this bad boy together.